to another video. Today you join us in qualifying for round 3 of Gprl season 4 today in Mexico City, and I'm back introducing again, and I've got my my co-commentator Ryan with me. How are you, Ryan?
Good, thanks. Feeling pretty good about this one because it's going to be an interesting race ahead for hearing all the rumours from before going in, when we're looking at time trial. Some interesting conversations bringing up about good race pace, so it should be a fun one today.
It should be, and obviously apologising for starting a little bit late. I was running a little bit behind schedule, but at the top of the leaderboard currently Red Bull. Felix on the super soft tire, which is the hardest compound available, is it today, Ryan?
Yeah, it's Hypersoft, Ultras and Supers for this weekend.
Okay, so you'd expect drivers to want to run long. As you can see, the majority of the drivers, only Felipe and Hugo, and Moraine, who's out on the Hypersofts, not setting laps on those tyres. So pace of the Rebel seems decent so far. And one thing we will mention before we get going, we have a new arrival in the league, Toyn. I believe that's how you say his name. But yeah, he's one of Jarno's friends. He's in the Haas, and Haas hoping to score their first points today. Another little return today for Felipe, who's actually up in P4. So that's a good job from him. He's in the Renault, obviously a reserve, so can't score his own points, but doing good jobs for some of the teams. Also, the main culprits, you've got Marcos, Felix, Alex, Moraine, and Steve. No Ral today. I'm not sure why that may be, but yeah, Ryan, how are you feeling ahead of this qualifying session?
Feeling good as always. The usual suspects at the top of the table. Obviously Felix going just a tenth faster than Marcos, and then you've got Jarno behind, and Felipe, like you mentioned before, and also Alex, who was in second place, but looks like he maybe didn't have a strong enough lap in there. So yeah, it'll be another interesting qualifying session. As well as looking at the weather, it doesn't look like there might be... The qualifying might get cut a bit short here if there's any rain, although the sun is coming out now, but before the stream started it was very cloudy.
It was
so
very
could
cloudy.
be clearing up now.
We're going a little bit wide, and one thing that I did notice down the main straight was Felix actually gave his Rebel teammate a tow down the main straight, so that would benefit him massively. Moraine on the Hypersofts, the only other person to set a lap time on the Hypersoft is Harrison, who's currently up in P3. We're getting a little bit of tow from the McLaren of Karen as he enters the stadium section. Very tricky part. This stadium section, very important to hook up quite nice, and it looks like Moraine's doing that quite well now as he comes through the final corner. He'll look to go nice and early back on the power then. The short run to the line, and it is P1 by quite an outstanding amount. But one thing to note is that Moraine is on 2-step softer tyres than the rest below. So good lap, would you say, from Moraine, Felix? Moraine, Ryan? Sorry.
I'd say it's a fairly decent lap, but 9 tenths with difference of 2 tyre compounds, that's very... If you look at it that way, it's kind of a slow lap, because you were seeing people in... We're hearing about people in time trial doing like 1 minute 12s with the Hypersoft, so maybe Moraine slipped up a little bit during the session, or he's maybe got a little bit too much fuel in the car, but... It
didn't look like the cleanest lap, I will just add that one in. It didn't look like the cleanest lap. So you'd say that there's a little bit more time in that one?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he might go for another run. Doesn't look like he's going one for now, but I think he'll come into the pits and get a new set of hypers on to set a clean lap.
Right. Yeah, you'd say it'd be quite an effort for Moraine to match that time on harder tyres, but it will be interesting to see, if he can, and if Marcos, or the likes of Marcos, Felix, and those can get up there. And if they will go back out on the same tyres. You can see Marcos cutting the track a little bit to get back to the pit, so he's clearly in a rush, looking to do maybe more than one run. People who haven't set a lap yet, Steve, who's just coming out of the pits now, on I believe that's a set of super soft tyres?
It's the
ultra soft, yeah, sorry. Yeah, of course, sorry. and then Danny has set a lap. Um, Danny has set a lap. He's currently in the pits, waiting to come out. Do you think there's enough time? Like looking at it right now, do you think there's enough time for drivers to do 2 runs, or will a lot of them be waiting for?
To do 2 runs, you'd have to be very quick into that. You'd have to be in the pits and out right away with a new set, I reckon, to get the tyres warmed up perfectly for a second lap. So, yeah, you'd have to be pretty quick in the pits. But yeah, I definitely think you could. It's definitely possible.
Of course, quite a quick lap around Mexico, one of the quickest of the season. I think definitely as far as Gprl is concerned, I think the only one quicker on it would be Austria. On the very low times, but now we were watching Amar come through the stadium section, currently sitting in P11 on the ultra soft tyre through the final corner. Can he improve on his lap time? He can. He goes P9. Not a bad effort there from Amar.
Yeah, it's a solid performance to be literally just 1,000th off of Kareem in 8th place, which I don't think he set a very strong representative lap, because looking at some of those other super soft runners, they're easily half a second to Jarno, and then another second and a bit to Marcos and the super soft. So I think he can eke a little bit more pace out in hypers possibly. I'd have to have a look. Yeah, it would have been on the hypersoft, so it's a good performance from him so far.
Yeah, obviously good performance. Yeah. And yeah, Harrison. I think that was who you mentioned, wasn't it? Sorry.
Yeah, the Williams car.
Yeah, that's Harrison up in P4. And yeah, Hugo currently in P10 on the Ultrasoft. And one thing to notice is all the drivers have. No one's fitted the Supersoft currently. Jarno is in the pits. Jarno up in P5. Not a great lap for Jarno, you'd say. There's more time in it, would you say?
Yeah. There's always room for improvement, no matter how perfect you feel the lap is. So yeah, I definitely think he can squeeze a few tenths off to get ahead of Harrison, or maybe even Matt. Hello. Are you there?
Hello, Ryan. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Now I'm back. Sorry, just had a couple of technical issues. Have I missed anything or?
No, nothing's really changed in terms of the standings. I think maybe looks like he's jumped up a few positions.
Oh yeah.
Steve, well, he hasn't set a representative lap. He's 18 seconds off of the leader.
Yep.
So,
Oh, Marcos fastest.
Marcos just set fastest. So
On harder tyres than Marin.
There's my point proven.
And yeah, that is true. But obviously, as I did say, Marin with a bit of a scruffy lap, so yeah, that's a very fast time with a 13.5 on Ultrasofts. So we could see another Marcos domination.
Definitely.
Another thing to notice, just looking at the Sauber of Jana. Steve out of the session. Jana does go P3. That's a good lap from him. And Jana did say before the race that he's going to be using no assists, so adjusting to it at the minute. So Jana does expect to be a little bit off the pace, but he's not far off the pace. Only 8/10 nearly. So you'd say not a bad lap there from Jana.
Yeah, it's a solid lap from him, considering experimenting with no assists. You wouldn't expect him from his first race with no assists to be in a podium position already. So it'll be good to see how well he handles in the race.
It will, and if you can get that consistency. Anyway, one thing to notice: Felix have dropped off a little bit, exactly 1 second off Marcos's time, but you'd say that he has a bit more pace. Alex, the other Mercedes down in P10, that's a surprise.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a surprise. Maybe, I think will be coming out probably right at the end of the session to try and set a good lap on.
Yeah, Karim jumps up into P7, so good effort there from Karim, you'd say.
Yeah, solid performance from the McLaren once again, despite their, well, can only describe it as confusing previous season.
Yeah.
It was very confusing all across the board as to what exactly was going on in the McLaren garage. So, yeah, it's a solid performance from him.
It'd be nice to see
Hopefully
McLaren.
he can challenge a little bit more in the race, obviously on the Ultras, and Harrison on the Hypers is in front of him, so hopefully he can challenge.
Yeah, this will be a good qualifying for Harrison if he does keep his position. As you can see, Felix on a bit of a rush to start his lap. But yeah, Alex currently knocked out of the top 10, and I don't see he's just coming out the pits now, I think. So he'll do well to get round.
Yeah, you'll have to be very quick though to get round the track. I don't know if you'll be able to make it round.
It will be interesting to see. It will be very nip and tuck. Marcos goes fastest. So that's Marcos' fastest lap, retiring from the session. So just 0.13 seconds separate Moraine on similar tyres. It's not possible to conquer that gap, is it, Ryan?
Well, it'd be hard to say. I think Moraine can maybe do a solid lap in here, because from the graph here it says that Marcos's Ultras were 3 laps old. So whether he did his lap on worn tyres or not could potentially cost him pole position today, but
it could, and that may hinder him in the race. Oh, Moraine getting a little bit out of shape as we watch him now. So yeah, you'd say not sure about Felix. Felix is just starting his lap, but do you think Felix stands a chance of pole?
Well, I haven't seen his start to lap, but he's only just started, so I would say he can put up a very good fight for.
Moraine's backed out. Moraine's backed out of his lap.
So it looks like he's going to try and settle for just P2 at the moment.
So P2's the best he will do.
At the moment it's still P4.
P4,
so
yeah, good effort from him.
It'd be good if he keeps that.
Felipe can't improve on P6. Karim, I'm not sure if he's on a fast lap. He's just made a mistake through the fast middle sector. So now I think all eyes are on Felix, unless Alex. Alex has got round to start his lap. So good effort from him. But now we watch Felix as he enters the final sector. It's going to be important for him to hook him up. This could be the pole for Felix if he can hook up, if he's had a good rest of the lap. I wasn't watching him on the rest of the lap, but through the final corner now, and it's P3 for Felix. So up there with his teammate, but not close enough. So it does look as if Marcos does have the pole, unless his teammate has anything to say about it. Through the final sector now, Alex, one thing to mention, is on hyper soft tyres, so softer than the other guys. Through the final corner now, looking for his second consecutive pole in Gprl, his second pole in Gprl history, I do believe. Through the final corner, and it's not an improvement. That is strange. P11 for Alex only.
I must have missed something midway through the lap, or maybe he's just not so strong at Mexico, because, well, Mexico can be a tricky track, especially Sector 2 with the very fast chicanes. They're very technical, and you've got to nail the apexes just right to get the most out of it. So, very surprising, but because he is just outside the top 10, of course, he'll have free choice of tyre.
Yeah.
So, be really interesting to see. It says he qualified in the super softs, but he couldn't improve on the hyper, so could be a concern for the race, maybe?
Or maybe he's just playing a bit tactically. But, you know, yeah, you never know. I think one thing to mention, Harrison up in P5. So really good job from him. See what the Red Bulls can do into turn 1. Remember that long run down into turn 1. Any possibilities? One thing that I have heard, just in from Yana, it looks like there's going to be rain at the end of the race. So that could, as you said in qualifying, but do you think a little rain? Yeah, go on.
And also Harrison pointing out that the grid's very mixed up today, so it'll be interesting to see the people towards the back push through the field, like Alex. Steve, you could count into that, even though he's in P6, P7. You definitely count him as a contender for a podium because we've seen his race pace, and it's a lot stronger than his qualifying pace, so it'd be good to see that.
But I think we're all set for the formation lap now, and should be an interesting race. We've got obviously Marcos, the current championship leader, I believe. Let me just check that. I'm sure, yes, of course, he'll be the championship leader. He's 1, 2, and 2. But would you give you a quick rundown of the standings whilst we watch the drivers go around for their formation lap? Yeah, so the current driver standing is Marcos on top, and then it's actually Steve in second, and then the two Red Bulls tied in third and fourth, and it's Alex. Obviously, he was looking strong for a good finish in Bahrain before some connection issues, so he's got a lot of ground to make up. Do you think he may be able to jump the likes of, I think the Red Bulls with 16 points on him is quite an ask, but do you think he can close in on that fight today?
Well, once again, it's a very tall order, but can't see why not.
Yeah, and obviously Yannick not here today, so Yano's filling in P4. I think he can hold that if he has a clean race. I think a podium may be out of reach for him with him running new assists. But Karim looking to add to his point score. He's in current P9 in the standings with 4 points. People looking to get points on the board today: Hugo, Danny, Amar, and Harrison are all looking to score their debut points for Season 4. So we could be seeing quite a few more entries onto the leaderboard today. And yeah, it could be quite interesting to see as we now go through the final corner. So who are your eyes on for the start then, Ryan?
Well, one thing I would quickly point out is the fact that Steve and Alex were disqualified exactly the same time, so maybe they came into contact or something.
Possibly, but thankfully.
Going back to this, it's all going to be on the front 4, maybe front 5 going into turn 1. That's going to be the big point here because, obviously, like I said, the long straight, and I'll let you take care of it.
So we go 5 red lights. Gprl Season 4, Mexico is underway. It looked like quite a shaky start from the leader as it's Felix around the outside. That's Moraine down the inside. Felix has actually got up into the lead of the race. He is down the inside, I believe. There's a lot of banging tyres as Moraine is Moraine down the inside. Sorry, not keeping up with all this. Moraine is up into the lead. Felix did cut the corner, did get a time penalty. We may remove that as he has given back the positions. Marcos down into P3. Yana holding P4. Then it's Harrison, Karim, who's battling with Felipe. Felipe around the outside of turn number 4. It's absolute madness in the midfield. Steve trying to cut his way through. I believe Alex is just sitting at the back on his super soft tyres as we get a good view as he enters this fast section nearly. But from the start, good start there from Moraine up into P1, followed by Felix. It's a Red Bull 1-2, then the very fast Marcos Harrison went quite wide there. That is going to hand the position to Felipe, you'd say. They're battling. Harrison still holding this position. Will Felipe make a pop down the inside? Harrison on fresher tyres, not fresher tyres, softer tyres, but Felipe does go down the inside. That's a good move from Felipe up into P5. Harrison down to P6. Steve is there in the battle, and what do you make of that start, Ryan?
Oh, it was absolute chaos, especially at the front with Felix getting pushed wide going into the first corner. I believe it was the Williams that tried to go up the inside and kind of did a little domino effect between him and the Mercedes. But yeah, it's been a very hectic start. We can see the Williams is now attacking Felipe again, which that's going to be an interesting one.
Just down the inside, Harrison has made that move stick, and Steve is going to go round the outside. It's a very opportunistic there from Steve to get himself up into P6, Felipe down to P7, but he's not going to go down without a fight. Karim has got a front row seat of this battle as we go into the second sector. Hugo's also looking around the outside. That'll be quite an impressive move from Hugo if he can make it stick. Oh, I don't think he can. He's going to get caught up on the curb, and he's spun out. That's going to hand Alex. Alex has made his way up into the points. So he's had a clean start, which I think is crucial, and he's looking forward in the race. The top four starting to pull away as Marcos is now all over the back of Felix. Will he send one down the inside? No, he won't. He can't quite get close enough. Harrison does pick up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, but Jan is staying quite close to the top four considering his new assists.
Yeah, I think he's doing an absolute solid job here. As there's a lot of position. Oh, there's contact.
There's a contact. Oh, yes, there does look.
It looks like there's 4 cars involved in a massive crash.
Yes, I'm not quite sure what happened there. Did you see much of that, or?
No clue. I was looking at the front view going into the first corner. I have no idea. We'll probably have to ask after the race because it looked like 4 cars got picked up in that.
Yeah.
Marcos with a penalty.
Yes, it did look as if Alex and the Mercedes did try and hand position back and ended up getting smacked by one of the runners. So that could be quite interesting. Marcos does look a little bit more wavy than we've seen him in recent times. You know, like you take Silverstone, you take Bahrain. Once he cut through the field, he looked very, in control. But in this situation, he doesn't. With that time penalty, that could cost him quite massively, you'd say.
Yeah, I think it can definitely hinder his performance, but I think if he just keeps up his regular pace, if he's as quick as he always is, then he could possibly do the unthinkable and win once again and get a hat trick of wins.
Of course, obviously Mexico not the hardest track to overtake on.
Yeah, indeed, especially with that long straight at the beginning, as Bahrain goes fastest.
DRS obviously enabled last lap, so drivers for the first time will have DRS down this back straight, and Marcos, although he is still within DRS range of Felix is getting the tow from his teammate Moraine, so yeah, Marcos not really able to close in. But one thing to mention, Moraine is on hyper soft tyres, and they will start to go off quite soon, as it does look as if a train is going to start forming behind Moraine, would you say?
Yeah, I think so, especially because in 2-3 laps or so, you're going to really start to see Moraine sliding around, especially at the fast chicanes. You could see him getting a little bit of oversteer coming out of the chicane. So yeah, it'll be good to see what tactics are played out in the Red Bull garage. But
from
it looks
both
like
sides.
Marcos could be. If Marcos gets past Felix, I reckon he can challenge for the win, because he might have to make one less stop, whereas Moraine might have to do 2 stops starting on the hypers.
Yeah, and if Moraine was going to try and do a 1 stop, what sort of lap do you think he'd be trying to stretch out these tyres until?
Well, I don't have the biggest knowledge on how long the tyres last, but I reckon you need to be at least double digits, like 10 to 14 laps maybe.
Maybe,
and
if we
then
got
stretch
Marcos.
out a set of supers.
Sorry to interrupt there. Marcos did look for a move on Felix, ended up going quite wide, which may leave him quite vulnerable to the Sauber of Jana. Moraine is struggling.
A little bit understeer, yeah. He got a bit of oversteer coming out of that chicane at the beginning, so I think he's starting to experience the tyre wear now. Felix taking it really slow.
Felix not wanting to attack his teammate for obvious reasons, But this could, if they all start to close up, you got Yano in with a shot, and only 5 seconds back. If Felipe keeps up, Felipe's had a not bad pace. Always he gets a bit slidey. Felipe's had not bad pace, so he might end up closing in on this battle, and then yeah, you can see Moraine starting to struggle a little bit. But with the death, yeah, Felix struggling to keep up with Moraine through the middle sector. As Marco's still all over the back, I believe. Steve's gone off.
Steve
And there's been contact with Harrison.
Yep. Unlucky
So,
start for him.
That's going to be Harrison
retired.
out of the session. Steve round, and that's Danny getting past him, or making an attempt to get past him. I believe Steve did lose a little bit of front wing. Danny down the inside there. Good move from him, but we're going to turn our attention to the front. And it's Felix closer to Moraine than Marcos is to Felix. To Felix. And Moraine is struggling, so do you think it would be the right thing to do for Moraine to almost let Felix by?
Well, if any real life teamman was in this situation, they would let the car that can go longer, they would let them out in front so they can get the most out of the tires. So when it comes to the pit stops, they have a more effective pit stop that really kicks in. So yeah, you would think that he would let him pass. Oh, there's a huge. Oh, was that an illegal overtake though? I
I'm
think
not
he's given the
quite
position back,
sure.
though, but
The side by side into the stadium section,
forced out wide.
forced out wide, but Felix still
it's
down
aggressive.
the inside.
Oh. As aggressive as that was, it was still clean. Oh,
Yarno looking down the
is
inside,
now
that was
challenging.
aggressive. And so Yarno
was
getting himself
very-
up into a podium position. He does give that position, I believe that position was
Yeah.
illegally took.
He did. He bumped over the curb on the last corner just to get past. But
Yes.
fair play to him, giving the position back. But
Not all drivers would do that.
Marcos, he went very aggressive. Oh, I think Moraine is really struggling because look how much Marcos is caught up now.
Yeah, and Felix is still right there, so if Marcus goes for it, makes a mistake, you could argue Felix would be all over him. Moraine being a little bit defensive and Moraine not wanting to come into the pits. He's, you get the feeling Moraine is backing Marcus up into Felix, would you say? Oh, Felix is going to go for it, there's contact! That was close.
Oh.
That was close.
Oh, I didn't see that. Oh, I only saw Marcos spinning because I'm on his cockpit view now. I didn't see what was happening behind him. Oh, Yarno's got past as well.
Yarno has got
Yarno's
past.
Felix.
So, nearly a little bit of contact. Well, there was contact, nearly a spin there. Marcos just went quite wide on the double right-hander, and Felix looked down the inside, and there was nearly a spin. And you can see
It was a
Moraine.
very good recovery from Marcos, though.
It was.
Very, very well held. So fair props to him. Oh, it looks like Marcos is going to take the lead here on the straight, going by how
Wouldn't be
much
surprised.
a great exit he got. Up DRS, yep. He's got to make the move. Like
Moraine
he's
defending
got to,
the inside.
He'll easily make it.
Flying past. Moraine really struggling on the. Ooh, that was very weird. As Felix is going to take the opportunity down the inside. Looks like Moraine is still there, still battling, but it comes to no avail. Marcos is up into the lead. Moraine does not have DRS, so yeah, these two still going at it. There's a yellow flag in sector 2. Side by side these are. Felix is up into P3. Is it Amar struggling? Felix is back up into P3.
Renault, he's spun, so he's probably had a little spin somewhere. But it looked like one thing to mention about the front four is likes of Marcos and Moraine, they've got quite low ERS compared to Felix and Yarno, so...
Oh, Marcos is round! Marcos is round! Marcos and Felix come together.
I think there might have been a bit of contact there.
I'm not sure, we will have to review that after the race, but
I think there's been a bit of contact.
Quite possibly, that was Felix just unsighted really, and couldn't go anywhere. That's Felix into Marcos, so both of them out of the session. Moraine into the pits now. That's worked out perfectly for him. Yarno inherits the race lead. That's going to put Felipe, into a podium position, who's been chased down by Karim. But yeah, not quite sure. But I'm sure that we'll have some words said on the group chat regarding that.
Yep, I think Felix is already complaining, going, "What was that? I think there was maybe contact there. I think maybe Moraine failed to slow down and maybe clipped his back wheel, and Marcos just couldn't handle it. And well, it's to if for some people watching that could have been the heartbreaking moment,
It could
seeing
be.
Marcos spin round and retire just like that.
Or,
Just
you
showing
know,
just how
favourite
quickly
moment.
that win has just been swept away.
Yeah,
His
and
clean sweep is officially, so it won't be a hat trick now of race wins, sadly.
it won't be. It won't even be a hat trick of points positions. And now Moraine, you know, I'm not sure if there was contact or not, but Moraine out in P6. Moraine is on a 2-stop, because these ultra softs will not go to the end. So you know, Moraine really has to, you know, extract everything he can. And with Yano on a 1-stop, I think it'll take something quite special to overthrow Yano. Would you say?
I'm just gonna try and get in the scoop and ask what exactly happened
Okay.
at the moment.
Yep.
I'll let you know if I hear anything.
Okay, so I think 10 laps into this race, it's sort of calmed down. I say calmed down a little bit. I don't know, it's Karen being overtaken by Amar, who is on fresher tyres. If Amar does complete 75% of this race, he will score his first Gprl points. That's a rule that we do run in Gprl. If you complete 75% of the race, you are eligible for points. So, 10 laps into the race, we'll have a little quick rundown. Danny is all over the back of Steve. Danny might be challenging Steve for position here. Steve seems to be struggling. Danny quite low on ERS, although with DRS, will he look down the inside? Steve very defensive there, and Steve known for being quite an aggressively defensive driver, but Danny, quite an unorthodox move down the inside, and now he's going to have the inside for the double right-hander, squeezes Steve off. Oh, there's contact!
Contact. Oh, Danny's round.
Danny's round and into the
word.
wall. That could be something worth looking at. Well, it will be something worth looking at, because Danny will have to go into the pits. So shame there for Danny. He was having a good race, but it's not all over. There's a lot of race time left, and yeah, that could be interesting. Did you see much regarding that accident, or?
Yeah, I did notice that when Danny overtook Steve, he virtually basically cut the corner to squeeze past, so he kind of went off the track to get past Steve. So I'd say the blame's a little bit shifted towards him, because he did go off track to make an overtake that just wasn't there. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Danny got punished a little bit for that, for being way too, because that was a whole new level of aggressive, and I think Steve would agree on that.
Yeah. So Moraine is cutting his way through a field. He's right there with Toy now. New GPRL signing up in P5. Something in?
Yes. Just to turn away a little bit, we will see exactly what happened here.
Oh, it's Marco sent the video.
Oh no, he lost it on his own. Clip the curb.
Ah, that's a shame. Meanwhile, Moraine does make his way past Toyn up into P5. Toyn having a good race so far in P6. That's the... Oh yes, so he lost it. He lost it very early on, actually. It went back round.
And he tried to recover.
And then, yeah, that's a shame. And just a little onboard.
Got Kareem and Felipe attacking now. Oh, Kareem is going to try and overtake Felipe on the straight to take second place.
Thank you for that, Ryan. I would have missed that. And Karim up into P2. And this could be Karim's first podium since when? GPL trivia for you.
I'm trying to remember if I was actually a part of GPRL.
You weren't, but I've definitely mentioned it.
I'm going to say season 2.
Correct. Canada, season 2. Me and Karim led home, Karim led home a 3-4 finish in Ferrari. Quite proud of that. My best finish in GPRL. Maybe you'll see me back one day, maybe you won't.
Jarno's lost it.
Jarno's lost it.
Going a little bit out of control going through the chicane. He had a little slide, his back wheel hit the wall, so lucky he didn't get a puncture. But yeah, just coming out, just exiting the chicane, he got a little bit of oversteer and went across the track. He hit his back wheel, but he's coming into the pits now, so Whether he sustained damage or not, I don't know. But he
I
only hit the
doubt it.
back wheel, so I can't see any front wing damage there. So Kareem will take the lead.
Yeah, Felipe struggling on his tyres now as he goes into the pits. And, oh, Alex, I'm not sure if he just lost control of the car, but he got very close to the pit wall, and Moraine's going to speed past, so Karim takes the lead of the race after Yana, as you said, in the pits, and Moraine passed Alex. Alex can't make a move into turn 1, but you might hassle him. Remember, Alex on the super soft, so he's going very long, could be a factor at the end of this race, but can't challenge Moraine for the time being. So Moraine is now focusing on Karim. Karim's gone quite long on these ultra softs, hasn't he?
He has, yeah. He's done 12 laps on the ultra soft, so I'd expect him to at least do 3-4 laps maybe, and then go on to a set of supers. Oh, he's slowed down.
Karim just let them through.
He's let both cars pass.
But I don't think Karim realises that he's actually fighting Alex, so interesting.
Yeah, so he's given Alex second place basically.
Pretty much so.
I don't know. A bit confusing. Maybe he didn't want to do what Marcos did, or
maybe.
I don't know.
I'm not sure if he'll have information of what Marcos had, what happened to Marcos, but
oh yeah, he probably won't know. He'll have just seen that they retired. Oh, I think the cars stayed on the track for a while, but they were ghosted, so maybe he saw sort of what happened.
Got an idea.
But he probably... Oh, Felipe's just overtaken Steve for P5.
Yes, these two have been battling a little bit throughout the race. Felipe on fresh hypersoft, so he's got another stop to make definitely for this race, and interesting strategy from Felipe, you'd say. So what do you say his next tyre choice would be?
Well, I would possibly think super soft, because if he went on to ultras, I don't think he would make it, or he would make it, but he'd be sliding all over the place at the last few laps, and it's not exactly ideal if you're fighting for a decent P5, so...
It could be higher after the likes of Karim makes a stop. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've still got Amar, Danny and Toyn running strong in their, well, what will be their first points for Gprl if they can hold it until, I need to calculate this, when, bear with, at what point is 75% of the race? Maths with Alex Bomberg, here we go. So, calculator.
27 laps.
Thank you, Ryan. 27 laps, indeed.
Quarter of 36 is 9, so 3/4 of 27.
Whatever, Ryan.
Yeah. I didn't do well in maths in my exams, but I still know the things you're supposed to know for real life, not
I didn't do shocking. I didn't do shocking, but this isn't GCSEs with Alex and Ryan. This is Gprl Season 4.
Yeah, so we'll ignore the maths. That's not relevant.
We might venture into those fields a little bit later. Maybe when the off season gets a bit boring, we might. Anyway, back to the race. Obviously, we did have Karim in the pits on Supersoft, so he's going to the end, very committed to that strategy. No more scheduled pit stops for the time being. And this is Steve now, battling with Toyn. Can Toyn go around the outside? Steve does seem to be struggling this race and can't make it work. A little bit of a bash there from the Haas as Steve get caught up on the curb, thankfully saving it, and no contact, and that would have been Steve off for a third time this Grand Prix. Obviously Toyn on the fresher tyres, but obviously can't make it work on the Gprl veteran for the time being. Meanwhile, to notice the gap between Moraine and Yana is at 8.7 seconds, so Moraine would need around 22 seconds to get out ahead of Yana. Currently 8.5, that gap is coming down as Toyn looks down the inside. Gprl debut against Gprl veteran. Can't quite make it work. This is interesting battle. Karim is getting caught up in all of this. Steve struggling on his tyres, as you can see, he goes wide. That is Toyn up into P number 5, unless Steve has something to say about it. Steve running
goes out the session.
Yeah, we could be 3 wide here. It's 3 wide here with the 3 cars. That would be a good move if he can make it stick for Karim. Steve round the outside. He's going to get forced out. Toyn up into P6, and that's a good move from Karim, and very opportunistic. And You'd say one of the best moves of the season so far.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think Kareem managed to put Steve off enough to let Toyn go past. His Toyn is actually going to try and go up the inside. Oh, it's very... Oh!
That's going to hold him up.
And then
That's Steve back down the inside.
little
Can't
bit
make
of
it work
a
though.
karma one there if Steve got back past. But yeah, it was almost tactical the way Kareem and Toyn did that one because they both got past Steve no problem. So it looked very tactical from their point of view.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the gaps in the field, bar this little battle, are ironing out. Looking at the top, I think this is where the main focus should be. You'd say Moraine onto another set of Ultrasoft. You'd say you'd probably go to lap 22, maybe?
Yeah, I would say so. Maybe a little bit longer. Just depends on how he wants to pan out, or if he wants to risk it and try a two-stop. But Steve's just come in right now because his tires were very worn. You could see the tire wear was very visible just before he came into the pits. So he's actually lost quite a lot of time to Kareem and Toyn now.
Yeah, he
because
has.
of the tire wear. So it looks like it could just be a P7 on the cards, although Danny's just gone past but on used Hypersoft.
Yeah, so...
Guti is nowhere.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be in the mix, as he's just about to get lapped by Moraine. Hopefully there's no shenanigans, as there's the Sauber and the Mercedes battling, the only two in the race. This is getting quite feisty, as Alex really wants to hold on to his position, but you'd say Yana should have it down the straight on 12 lap fresher tyres. Alex also a little bit less ERS to play with than the Sauber, but I'm sure that they will all be in catching distances. I'm sorry, I'll have a call on my phone. Anyway, around the outside goes Jarno. Alex keeping it in there, getting a time penalty whilst he's at it. Ooh, very sideways there for Alex. Alex very aggressive, really wanting to stay with Jarno, but the reality is his tyres have been on since the start, and I don't think he's going to be able to keep in that battle much longer. But whilst those two have been battling, that's benefited Moraine. The gap now 7.9, 7.8, just ticked down. So who's your pick for the win here? I think you got the three potential candidates if there's rain at the end.
Yeah, it could be just a huge gamble between the top three as to when the rain does come, who's going to go in first, and who's going to time out perfectly. Oh, Alex swerving a little bit coming out the chicane, so yeah, I think he's going to be pitting soon. But yeah, Felipe could possibly play a factor if the rain really hits hard and affects the top three. Felipe could still be within a chance. Kareem looks just out of reach, but he is on fresher tires, so he will be quicker for up until the rain period. So
yeah,
he could catch up to Felipe.
I've been watching his gap, and it is coming down, but I don't think really quick enough. But obviously, we will see Felipe's tyres go off quite dramatically. So I think there's still a battle for P4, and you'd say I think P3 is on the cards today for Karim, as it's just 12.5 seconds to Felipe, then another 6 seconds, so 18 seconds really separates him and P3, which is, will give him a healthy gap after Alex pits, and that gap between Karim and Alex is only coming down. So, would you say Karim's on for a potential podium? Because I put my money on it.
Yeah, definitely. I can definitely see him going for a podium. It would be a good podium for him, as it's been a while, and
it has been a while.
It'd be good to get the McLaren back on the podium. So
it would be.
Yeah, it'll be good to see.
They must have got. Did they get a podium under Yannick and Jana? They must have.
I think they had. I think the thing was they had electrifying qualifying sessions, but when it came to the race,
yeah,
they lost quite a lot of their pace. I don't recall. I might have to ask.
I will check for you real quick.
Any podiums I don't think so though. Oh, Marine's in the pits now. Looked like an early stop, so that could hinder him quite bad, because if the rain is coming towards the end, that's an extra pit stop he's made.
Yeah.
That's deemed more or less unnecessary, which he's going to come out just in front of Kareem. So Moraine, very risky to do a pit stop now, especially when the rain is on its way.
Of course, but
Alex I wonder if Alex could be stretching all the way to the rain period. Who knows?
That would be genius from the Spanish man. But one thing I am just checking.
Oh,
Oh, who's off?
Renault has spun around.
Renault, yes, Amar. Yeah, McLaren did get a podium. But one thing to mention, Ryan, you got a 1-2 in your first race, so well done.
I did, yeah. And then it went
Congrats.
downhill.
Yeah, yeah, fair enough.
Australia has always been like my favourite track to race around. I've always had strong pace around Australia.
Yeah,
Well,
Yano,
Steve's
yeah.
just got past Danny. Oh, Danny's giving him a little bump. Oh, he had to yield. He couldn't have gone for the move. So yeah, Steve's up to P7. But yeah, I genuinely think that Alex could be trying to stretch to the period, although he's received another penalty, so he's got to be pretty quick in the rain period, so...
That would be
I don't know how many
quite...
penalties Alex has at the moment. He has...
I think he's got quite a few.
Yeah, I'm just looking right now. He has... 3 seconds.
3 seconds? Really? I thought it'd be more than that.
No, I'm totaling them up. 3 seconds plus... there's quite a lot to go through. Another 3 seconds, so 6 seconds so far. He's getting a lot of warnings.
Right, okay.
6 seconds, and then 9 seconds.
Steve with the fast lap of the Grand Prix.
Seconds.
So he's got
Ooh.
pace. And it's starting to rain. That's one thing.
Oh, is it?
Rain's hit the
yeah,
track.
I can see the rain. Oh, here we go.
So,
This is where Jarno's no assists will really be put to the limits.
that is a
It'll be
very
really
good
to
point.
see how he handles.
To be completely honest, in this situation, I would not blame him to go and turn the traction control to medium because you know he's in a commanding race lead. Moraine, excess of 10 seconds back, 12.3 seconds, and this is where fresh tyres though will come in handy. You know, you saw, where in damp conditions, on fresh tyres you can be a couple of seconds a lap quicker, but this will be the battle for P3 when Moraine closes in on Felipe, sorry. And what were you going to say, sorry, Ryan?
I was just going to say that Moraine's extra pit stop, which he only pit 2 laps ago, he's now going to have to do another pit stop, so...
Presuming it does get intermediate condition.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think it will. With the amount of laps left, it's definitely going to go to at least intermediates and heavy, or the rain might die down towards the end. I don't actually know if the rain's meant to stop, however. I don't know if it's just carrying on to the end.
The drivers do have more information than we do. But Alex still out in P2, so,
Oh, he's really struggling now, though.
he is struggling, as you can see Felipe also struggling, as that Moraine just sitting behind them for the time being. You see Alex is off
Alex has
to the
gone wide,
right.
So Felipe could be going up the outside.
He could be. Will Moraine make a move? He's going to look to go around the outside. That'll be an interesting move. With 3 wide into the stadium section, Moraine does have to back out of it. Alex does go wide. Order stays as it was before. Moraine going to try sticking the nose down the inside. Felipe and Moraine are now side by side. Moraine forced off track there. Not sure if that will be an illegal overtake, but there's a little bit of contact. Alex dives into the pits, deciding that there's no point in him staying out. There was nearly contact with Felipe. Moraine up into P2. And Alex into the pits. That'll hand Karen P5 and onto the intermediate tyres for Alex. That's a very early stop, but with the amount of rain coming down, this could benefit him quite massively. It also could hurt him a lot, but Felipe on his very old Hypersofts is now at risk of Karen, sorry. So yeah, it's all coming alive in this last little sector, and it's really making the drivers work for their 75%, sorry, of the race completed. So yeah, intermediate tyres. It will be very interesting to watch Alex's lap times and how the gap to the guys around him goes up or down. Do you think this is an early call, or?
Yeah, I would say it's very early. I mean, the rain's just started falling down, so
DRS
it's a very early stop. I think
DRS disabled.
Oh, so maybe it could have been the perfect opportunity,
Quite
as
possibly.
some people might jump into the pits now
Yano's
that DRS
into the pits. It's a Moraine.
Oh, so it could have. Oh, he's 37 seconds behind though, so he won't. He could potentially move up a few positions. Oh, there's
He's very
a yellow
sideways.
flag.
Yellow flag. I'm not quite sure
Oh,
who that is
it's
for.
gone now. So
But
Alex could have made a really perfect call here, and he maybe just didn't realise that he's done the perfect opportunity because DRS has just been disabled. So
well, the
he could make up a
Hypersoft's
few
also
positions.
working perfectly for Felipe,
Yeah, as he said, Felipe's in now.
as he keeps P3. He was due a pit stop, so he's done well. Karim will be P5. Actually, yeah, Alex has jumped
Oh,
Moraine.
Alex is right up into P2. Oh my word!
That's
What an overcut that is.
very good job from Moraine considering where he was. So that super soft stint has done absolute wonders for him. So he comes out in P2.
But just to remember, he does have 12 seconds worth of penalties, so I don't think he's going to be keeping the podium today.
Right. Does Jarno have any penalties?
Not that. No, I don't think so. If he did, he maybe only has one. I don't
Okay.
recall him ever receiving a penalty.
Yellow flag in sector 2. People struggling with the
it'll be
weather
Danny
conditions.
letting some people past out.
Right,
Because he
okay.
just let Jarno pass. Oh, Danny's spinning. Oh, Danny's lost.
Danny
a lot of
round.
control there. Is there anyone else catching up to him? But one thing with Alex, when he pit onto the intermediates, as perfect as it was, looking at it, he didn't have much of a choice looking at his super softs. He couldn't have gone onto another dry tyre because the rain was coming. So I think it was, he just had to go for it. Like,
Yeah.
he didn't have any grip left in the tyres, so he had to go on to the intermediates. So it was a perfect call for him.
And do you think Moraine is capable? He's been closing in on Alex this lap, been watching him. Do you think he's capable of getting past him?
Yeah, definitely. Whether it's with the penalties or not, he will get past.
Okay, thank you for that one, Ryan. Obviously, I was going to say DRS enabled for Moraine. We're not running DRS at the minute, but one thing to notice, I think Felipe is only 3.2 seconds, 3.3 seconds off Moraine. So if these two start battling, Felipe could very much get into this fight, would you say?
Yeah, definitely. Oh, it's very close now. So yeah, this is where Felipe is going to start coming into the battle here. It's about this moment now, when you get to the tight corners, this is where Felipe's really going to start to catch up.
Of course, and all this is just benefiting Jarno pulling away at the front. He's done an incredible job today, Jarno, from P4 on the grid. You know, we were saying as we came into this race, I don't want to give him commentator's curse, but yeah, we'll leave it for now. And yeah, you know what I'm thinking, but it will be quite an incredible achievement if Jarno can win the Grand Prix.
Yeah. Will he be the first one in Gprl history to win
Safety
without
car,
any assists?
safety car has
my
been
word.
deployed.
It's
Danny
been like a
has
whole
crashed
season
out.
since we've seen this.
It's been
We have
so
not
far
seen-
since we've had a safety car, so this completely changes everything. You see Danny there
Yeah, I
through
saw
the
it
fast
outside the
section.
track.
So
Oh my
right,
word.
who does this bring? This brings everyone into contention.
Yeah, everyone can challenge for the lead.
Do you know what
now.
I've just noticed?
A slip up from the lead could cost the race.
It could.
Like Steve, who's really far behind, he could use this to his advantage because he'll be able to catch up to the people in front of him. He is quite far away though, so you might get penalties for being too slow because there is a glitch where you can get penalties
Yes.
if you're miles behind the safety car. So he could have a stop-go penalty, which completely undeserved, but he was
Really
genuinely
hope that
far
is
back,
not the
so-
case.
Yeah, so this puts everyone into it.
I think we
See
have.
that Alex has paused, so maybe Alex is just going, I'm not driving, I'm waiting.
Calm down a bit. You know, I think
Yeah,
he's as happy, you know, as you can imagine, with that incredible strategy.
And-
But
As incredible as the safety cars, which we haven't seen in a while, it's a real shame for Jarno though, because Jarno with no assists doing a fantastic job in the lead. It's now all just gone because
Yeah.
of one. And oh, Steve's on the wet tires.
wet tyres. That
This is a
suggests
Gasly move here.
if this comes, yeah, it is a Gasly move, and you could argue it's looking very, very damp. Yeah, the spray is getting
Yeah,
more.
there's a lot of spray. Yeah.
So
And I think a few of the cars are sliding about behind the safety car, so
could we see
there's good-
potential for wet?
he's in the
Yes.
safety car.
So that is, yeah, AMR just getting obviously lapped before the safety car was called out.
Oh,
But yeah,
there's been contact.
is there contact?
Alex and Guti have come together.
I don't think there's
Yeah,
damage
they had a
though.
little bump. No, hopefully not, because that would be a real heartbreaker.
That would be a shame. Obviously, Alex, sorry. Anyone diving into the pits? I don't think so. I think everyone is staying out, so it'll be interesting.
Yeah,
Obviously,
it would be ridiculous to go away. Oh! I heard something. I heard someone crash.
Alex has got
Alex has been received a penalty for a
he's been
collision
given a
with
penalty.
Guti.
So
Oh,
these
he's
two
not
getting
gonna-
together.
It's a stop go though. So.
Oh dear.
Alex, that's not gonna help your case.
Oh yeah, Alex has front wing damage. Okay, so
And
we've
he's a
come
stop go penalty, so he will have to pit.
right. So this could lead to a very lengthy investigation because
Oh my god.
what? Right. So first of all, we've given Yana the commentator's curse from saying, "Oh, he's got a 16-second lead."
Yeah. Now look what's happened. Thanks, Danny.
Now we've
I mean,
said
no offense, Danny, but we're sorry to hear you crashed. But at the
it's all
same
getting
time,
very manic behind the safety
you
car,
made the race fun for us to commentate. So thank you.
as if it wasn't fun before.
No, it's added an extra element of surprise. So
Exactly.
sorry,
And,
but thank you. Hopefully he's watching this. He can see us.
hang
Oh,
about.
there's more
We've got more
They're not
contact.
happy. Jeez,
think-
he is not happy with the Renault there. Moraine's probably sitting there going, "What on earth is going on in front of me?" And
Yeah,
same
I'd
with Yarno,
love-
"What on earth's going on behind me?"
I'd love to
Safety
message.
car coming in?
I don't think it's.
No, I think it's staying out. Yeah. Oh, it's
Yeah.
in this
No,
lap.
in
Okay.
in this lap. Right. So here we go.
Oh, Guti, what is going?
What
He
is?
nearly crashed into Yarno. There's something wrong here. Like that's not right.
What's happening? Oh
he-
dear.
What is he
Is he
doing?
alright?
He nearly crashed into Yarno.
Anyway, so Yano is going to slow up the pack. As
Well, when will he go? Oh, Steve has caught up quite a lot. So
yeah, so Steve right there.
his strategy's going to come into play.
So
a little
can
bit. He is
Alex?
still-
Sorry to interrupt you, but can Alex get past Yano? Remember, Alex with front wing damage. So I'm not sure if Yano does know that. My question is, where does Alex? Amar is there. Amar, what are you doing, my friend?
Amar.
Please
Amar,
do
no, it's
not.
blue flag. Oh, Alex taking the lead, but it looks
Where's Moraine?
very risky.
Moraine
Alex has had
is
to
round
go
the
off-
outside of Amar.
Yeah, Alex had to go off the track there to
Right.
avoid the collision. I believe they're past the Renault now. Yeah. But the Renault is still attacking Moraine.
The Renault is still there. What are you doing? As they're still battling at the front. Alex round the outside, clearly struggling with his front wing, and there goes Moraine
I
round
think
the
he's let
outside.
Moraine past you.
I don't think
he's
he
let
put
Moraine
too
past-
much
Oh!
of a fight.
And Guti has just crashed straight into
Has
Alex.
he-
went
has he hit
straight
him?
To the side of him. Yeah, he went straight into the side of him. He cut the corner and everything. Oh dear, this could be a
Right.
race ban. I'm thinking.
I'm thinking a bit more than a race
Easily.
ban, if intentional
Yeah.
contact. What are you?
Oh,
Right.
Alex is now going down the positions.
Yeah,
What?
Felipe got up into a podium position. Good job from him, considering he's
Yep.
just a reserve. Meanwhile, where is Steve? I haven't really seen
Steve
Steve's
is
last
at
time.
The back. However, he is
He's there.
still he's still in the fight because you can see the rain is there's a lot. The spray looks like it's calmed down a little bit, but it could just be because
It
it's a
does.
slow area.
Possibly.
Alex is all the way down to 6th, so yeah, it's really not helping.
Looking back at the
And
front now, though,
Guti's
Moraine.
right behind
This
him,
could be
so
Moraine for the lead of the race. Maybe a
I'm
little bit
concerned.
far-fetched.
Wait, hold on. The Guti and Alex are now together on the straight.
Oh,
I
dear.
need to close my eyes for this.
No. Abu Dhabi.
No, I'm closing
Alex,
my eyes.
no.
Oh, he's
Oh,
gone
dear.
up the inside of the blue flag, and he's gone right up the inside. But they're still coming into contact. Oh my!
No, don't do
You-
this.
you
Please don't
focus
do
on-
this.
I would say you can focus on the lead. I'll update you on this battle
Okay.
at the back while you focus on the lead. And also Steve, another thing to point out. Which
Yes,
is behind
Steve as well. Steve is closing
Oh,
in to these
more
two.
contact. He's pushed Alex. Steve, you better watch out. I'd feel bad for Steve.
I bet Steve is thinking,
If
what
Steve-
the hell are these guys doing?
If Steve gets involved, then I could see a permaban because this is just not in real Formula One. You'd get sacked instantly. If you...
Oh, no, Steve's
Steve
been
has
hit.
been involved. Steve has been hit.
But that
by
was from Alex,
'cause
and I
Alex
don't know
had no
how.
front wing.
Right.
Oh, Guti has done a little bit of a spin. I don't think Alex had much to do there because he was panicking from behind him, but he also had no front wing, so I wouldn't give him too much leniency, but at the end of the day, it's still contact, and it could have been race ending for Steve if he spun round.
Could have been, right, so... Hey.
Alex, another penalty. Alex could get disqualified at this stage.
At this rate,
Guti's
yep.
crashed into Alex again.
Has he?
Did I see someone get disqualified?
And they...
Is someone get disqualified? I don't know. Has Alex been disqualified?
No, they're all still in the session. Oh, right, yeah, he's out, so...
Oh, Alex has just given up. I think Alex has just had enough of the Renault.
Fair enough, and
Yeah, that Renault's some serious penalties here. I don't think we've ever had to give out a penalty so serious before.
I think...
Abu Dhabi was bad, but this is worse.
Yeah, that was, yeah. I think, I haven't had anything on the group chat yet, but I would expect some.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, the battle at the front, Moraine is closing in. He was a little bit further back this time on the main straight, but he seems to have found some confidence in his intermediate tyres and his car. And Red Bull could be staring down the barrel of their first win since Felix, actually, last season. Moraine's actually very close. He might go for a move down the inside, backing out of it, thinking very smart there.
I think he forced Jarno under pressure a little bit there.
Quite possibly.
Jarno did look like he was panicking there.
Smart
so
move there.
He can compose himself.
Yeah, smart move there though from Moraine, because I know a lot of drivers in this league that would just send one and you know, possibly ruin their own and the other drivers' race. But very smart from Moraine there to just stick behind. But one thing to note: does Moraine have any penalties? We will check up on that after this battle's finished.
But I think we were going to consider removing it because I think it was a ridiculous penalty, or it might have been Felix that got the penalty earlier.
I think it may have been, but we're side by side. Yep.
Guti's now in the wall just as the battle at the front's going on. Guti
right, these two are battling. Switchback move for Jarno. He gets the traction planted, doing very well with his no assists. If he hasn't changed him, I wouldn't blame him. I wouldn't slate him at all for changing him. I know how hard it is to try and learn with no assists. But here goes Jarno around the outside, can't make it work, and Felipe is
Jarno,
right there.
Very good move.
Yeah, Jarno maybe looking back down the inside. Nothing comes of it yet. Steve, one thing to note, Steve is dropping.
Moraine
Moraine
has gone off.
He did save that. He did save that. So very good job from him to keep it.
It
has cost him 2 positions, and
Felipe
Felipe.
Could be looking at a podium here.
Yeah, Felipe could be looking at a win.
So many things could happen.
So many things.
Jarno could be going for a win.
Yeah, anyone. You know.
Yep. Steve's struggling a little bit at the back.
Steve is struggling.
Sliding all over the place.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I think the intermediates just weren't good enough because the tyres aren't going to be getting cooled down, so the tyres are going to be constantly heated up.
I mean, to be completely honest to Steve, you know, he may as well have done it. You know, he wasn't in a good position to say, and you know, with Gasly, you know, he didn't really lose anything. But here's Felipe in the slipstream. Could this be Felipe making a move? We got a reserve driver making a move. Can he make it stick for the lead of the race? He'll have to go around the outside, which will hand him the inside. He's going to really squeeze Jarno. Jarno forced to cut the track. He's going to come back on. Felipe.
I think he's going to give him the
cuts
position.
Back, and yeah, so not putting up too much of a fight. However, Felipe does have time penalties aplenty. So Felipe up into P1, he will have to pull quite a considerable gap to get up in to actually get that race lead.
Look at that contact there. I think Jarno might attack Felipe. I'm not sure.
You think, but yeah, Moraine is right there, and Karim only 1.3 seconds back, closing all the time as well. So I don't think it's quite over for this Grand Prix yet.
Is it just me that's wondering, what about Teun? What if he magically pulls a win out of this?
Imagine if these four come together, that would be
what if
magical.
all 4 of them come together and the Haas out of absolutely nowhere takes the win? That would
literally nowhere. That would be magical. Yeah. I'd send him a pot of flowers.
I think Steve might be retiring from the session because he's not got much. He's sliding. He's showing off for the stream, I guess, with his drifting skills. It's very close. Oh, the top 4.
They are very close now.
Kareem was quite far back, but
Yeah,
Kareem is in a
job.
position where if a battle comes down at the first turn, Kareem will be right there waiting. The Haas is only 4 seconds behind Kareem, so could be a last-minute
Possibilities.
moment for him. Nothing happens going into turn 1. but
Felipe
it's all
still
very
leads
close.
the Grand Prix through the first 3 corners. But Moraine right up Jarno's rear
Moraine
end
got
is
an
getting
excellent
very
exit.
slidey. He did get a good exit, but then started to slide. But
Yeah.
back in the slipstream, can't make a move down the inside. Jarno has gone a little bit wide, so Moraine putting Jarno under a lot of pressure. Obviously, Jarno won't know the penalties that Moraine has.
Oh,
There's a little bit of contact.
slidey from Jarno there.
I don't know if there was damage there to the front wing of Moraine. I don't think that there was.
Doesn't look like it from the cameras.
Well, that's another
it's all
3-second
good.
time penalty.
Oh, Moraine with a penalty.
Yep.
Oh no.
So
Oh, now he's gone off. Yep. I think he's handing in the towel a little bit here. So that could that will give Kareem the podium, and Taeyeon is.
oh, down the
gonna
inside.
be P4.
Down the inside goes Moraine. Oh, there's contact.
Oh
Jarno.
no, there's contact. Oh no. Oh my word, Jarno.
Karim is
The
up into
heartbreak.
P3. This could be the absolute dream for Felipe if he can create the gap what he needs regarding the penalty. Karim is up into P3.
Heartbreak. Jarno, I kind of want to go to where Jarno lives and just like pat him on the back and go, I'm sorry.
We'll book a
He
flight
was
out to
so
Germany.
dominant. But with no assists, you've got to take your hat off to. I'd say Jarno is up there, one of the drivers of the day, as well as Kareem,
definitely, yeah.
of course, and Felipe. Jarno has to be up there just purely because of the talent he's shown with no assists, which I believe all the other drivers use at least 1 assist, but I think
Yep.
Jarno's turned every single assist off, so
I think, yep.
give him big props for that.
I don't know if
so
Karim
Kareem's up in the third.
will be able to challenge.
It looks very spread out now, so it doesn't look like there's going to be much going
I think
on at the
things
front.
are calming down a little bit more.
However,
but, you know,
on the first straight, there could be between Karim, Moraine, and Jarno. There could be a little bit of action going on between them.
time penalty for
received a
Jarno.
penalty
Yep.
now. If they've got any more penalties, then Taeyeon could be on his way to get P4 or maybe even P3 and pretty
Imagine.
much match what I did on my
Yeah.
debut. So it'll be another one to add to the list of debuts getting
Jarno
a
down the
podium.
inside.
Jarno's going down the inside. Oh, that was very aggressive.
was a
I'd
bit
give
of a
the
bump.
position back if I was him.
3-second time penalty for Karim. That
Now
will be
Kareem's been
removed.
given out-
That will be removed.
Yeah, that'll have to be removed because absolutely nothing he could have done. Danny's left the session. I think
Danny's
he was already
out. Yeah,
retired, so that
yeah.
doesn't affect anything.
So,
So it's very close between them two now. A mistake between them could see the Haas get on the podium, and I believe that'll be the first podium a Haas has got, if I'm not mistaken. Because they've always been right at the bottom of the standings, so
yeah, I
could be,
think so.
Could be a first podium, which would be very. He'll be very chuffed with that.
I think
he gets
he'll be chuffed with
podium
P5
for
anyway.
Haas.
Yeah, it's really been a bit of a race of attrition. Today there's been a lot of cars going out, a lot of cars spinning out, and Felipe MP1. It's a shame. I will check the penalties real quick. It's a shame that right, let's look at the penalties.
Oh, Moraine. Felipe Moraine getting a bit of oversteer going into the tight chicane, coming into the very technical part. Moraine looks like he's struggling a little bit. He's constantly correcting the steering, so looks like he's struggling a little bit now. So maybe the rain's picking up slightly. Who knows? Because there's a lot of spray coming off of the cars, so there could be more rain. Well, there is more rain. It's still. Kareem's got another penalty, so I think his podium could be out because I believe that penalty was for multiple warnings. So So even if we don't count the corner cutting, I think he's still going to miss out on the podium.
Yep, and I'm just counting up Felipe's penalties. Currently 9 seconds worth of penalties. But
he'll be down in P4.
Then again,
But
Moraine does have
Taeyeon
penalties.
Yeah, I think Taeyeon could get an unexpected podium here, and he's not going to know it.
I can
I genuinely think the Haas can get a podium because looking at the amount, there's been a lot of penalties between the top 4, and it could just be enough for the Haas.
Yeah.
That's if he manages to keep up, which he is going a little bit slow at the moment. He's only losing a few hundredths to the leader. So
Yes.
we'll see what happens.
We will see. what happens as we approach the final lap of the Grand Prix now, and never say never. If oh, there's a yellow flag.
Yellow
Sector
flags.
2, who's off? Anyone off?
Moraine, another penalty. Oh, Kareem's had to cut the corner
Kareem's had
there, so I
another
think
penalty.
Moraine-
This might hand the win to Felipe.
I think it should. Oh, it's the Renault
Yep.
parked up the side, letting everyone
We're going to
pass.
assume it's Felipe taking the win.
Yeah, I think it is him. It's going to be hard to judge.
Through the
Because
final corner
both-
to take the win at the checkered flag. Felipe,
Well, we
what a
believe-
drive from him! What a
has,
drive
it's been
from Felipe up into P1.
Oh, Teon's just got a penalty right at the end. Oh, that's
Moraine P2,
disastrous. Oh,
Jarno P3. It does look as if Felipe has won the Grand Prix.
oh Teon just overtaken
P4
Kareem at
count
the line.
just on the line, yeah. So Felipe wins the race. What a guy! Felipe getting Renault's win in his return to Renault. Apologies, that was a little bit all over the place. It would be nicer to have a bit more of a set out penalty system. But what a drive from Felipe!
Yeah, I mean, you've got to hand it to him. It's been fantastic since the start. Solid qualifying, solid race. I think it was the rain that really brought him into the race, because you saw when it came to the rain period, he was so rapid. He was so committed to getting on that top step of the podium. So, yeah, he's definitely worked hard for it.
Yeah, and you'd say without maybe that penalty at the end for Moraine, it could have been the win. Without that last lap corner cut. But, nevertheless, Felipe, incredible mate, well done. And now we go to the podium scene. It's Felipe on the top step, Renault back on the top step. Their first points of the season is also their first win of the season. Looks like we're going to have a lot of investigating to do.
Jarno's already saying that Felipe and Moraine destroyed the win for him.
Yes, so
another all-nighter.
another.
Oh, look at the
Wow!
28
Look
seconds.
at the penalties. There's not one
We just
without
need
a
a
penalty.
I think for the Gprl, we need to put all the penalties. We need to show this screen here with all the 7 penalties for the Renault at the end. I think we need to put this up on Instagram as well.
Yeah,
6 pit stops he made.
6. Wow, that's a lot of pit stops for AMR, but nevertheless, getting points. And we'll have to investigate that whole Alex incident after. Anyway.
I would be tempted to say the Renault should be disqualified, because, I mean, it was so unnecessary what he did, but also Alex is part of it as well, so yeah, it's going to be a tough call.
It's going to be interesting. We're also going to have Yannick obviously helping us with the stewarding, and we're going to try call this as down the middle as we possibly can. But another great instalment of Season 4 of Gprl, you'd say?
Yep, it's already been the most hectic race of the season. Like this, it's been the most hectic race for quite a while. Because I don't
most hectic season.
Abu Dhabi, yeah.
Yeah.
I think if we can get more races like this, then
I don't think anyone's going to be complaining other than, yeah. No one will be complaining other than my voice. If there's many more races like that, but Ryan, I'd like to thank you for joining me today.
Not a problem.
And next week, where are we? Next week,
I just turned off my phone.
I've got it up here. So next week we are at Japan. So Suzuka making its debut on the Gprl calendar. Can't believe that, but yeah, should be an interesting race. Hopefully we'll have another hectic race. And yeah, obviously, as I said before, thank you Ryan for joining us. Thank you guys for watching this live stream. Subscribe if you're new around here for future live streams, 5 PM GMT as always. Catch us there online. And yeah, ignore Ryan's phone going off in the background, and we'll see you next week. Bye bye.